I am so happy that people are enjoying these Jeep videos because I am really enjoying working on them. Nothing really frustrating has happened yet with them. Things have been pretty self-explanatory. The hardest part about this Jeep so far has been trying to figure out what's wrong with it just running a little rough. Other than that, this thing has been pretty easy to work on. And same thing with my other white Jeep, that thing's been pretty easy to work on too. Today we are back to work on my parents' Jeep. This is my parents' 2006 Jeep Wrangler X model. It has 130,000 miles on it with an automatic transmission that they only paid $3 grand for. Last episode we got it running. It turns out the starter wires were just loose and that made it start. Very easy problem to fix. It's still running a little rough right now, but we're hopefully figure that out this episode. You guys have given me a few ideas of what it could be. We're gonna dig into that and hopefully diagnose the problem. Last episode we also removed the wheels, the angry grill, pretty much any of the mods that we did not like, we went ahead and removed and replaced with stuff I think looks a lot better. My parents definitely like it more, and that's who we're building this thing for, so whatever they like, it's all good. We have a good bit of work to do in this episode. You may be able to tell some of these old black pieces are starting to fade. This front fender is all getting rusty and peeling off. I want to fix up all that, make it look brand new, put a new coat of paint on them, probably rhino line them so it will last for a lot longer. Won't have to worry about it peeling up anytime soon. Moving on to the interior is the hardest part about all this. We need to clean this up, make it look brand new again. I want to put some new carpet down in there. Without carpet in this thing, it's very loud. You can hear a lot of road noise and it just gets hot. And carpet will definitely help fix that issue. Also a lot of other issues in here, such as the door panels is a big one. Up here, it just needs cleaned up. Hopefully clean up these seats, get them to stop wiggling so much. There's a lot of like little issues that we need to fix in this thing. Another big thing you may notice, it does not have a top. Last episode we removed the old one because it had holes in it. It was impossible to see out of the windows, not to mention it didn't even zip up anymore. So we took that off and we're gonna replace it with the same fastback style. They call it a boneless top, and that's because there is no frame attached to it. We started putting it on and we realized it was a lot of work and we don't really like that. We want to be able to remove the top very easily because we live in Florida and the weather changes so drastically here. It could be sunny one second and pouring the next. So with a soft top like my Jeep, it's able to fold back really easy and fold back on really easily. You can do that within a couple minutes, and with this Jeep, it took two people like 10 minutes to be able to do that, and it's just kind of a pain. Rough Country has been a big sponsor for my channel and for these builds. They saw last episode that I'm rebuilding this for my parents and they sent me out a brand new top for it. I already have the metal frame for this. It's actually gonna come off the parts Jeep I have. We're gonna be able to swap all that over, put this new top on, and have a brand new top, just how they want it for this thing. So huge thank you to Rough Country. This got shipped out in like 2 days, super fast shipping. You guys can check them out if they want. They also have the soft tops for your half doors. If you have a half door, kind of like my parts Jeep, they'll send out the soft top with that. So you can replace the whole thing at once. Huge thank you to Rough Country. Their link is in my description. They have been a huge sponsor of my build, so check them out if you guys need a new soft top or anything else for your Jeep or off-road vehicles. This is what we're gonna tackle first. First thing we need to do is take it off of the old Jeep, move everything over here, and then we can start attaching the brand new top to it. Shouldn't be too hard. Let's knock it out. This looks so much better, way better. No more rust, textured everything so it all matches. Everything that's metal and an add-on all matches. Rough country top fits perfectly. Don't have to struggle to put it on, don't have to struggle to zip it up. My Jeep too is also a rough country top. I love it a lot. Take it off for a couple of days and it still fits right up, doesn't shrink or anything like that. Works great. Even took off these plastic fake caps. I think it looks a lot better without them. When this thing is eventually repainted, we'll be able to cover up a lot of those scratches that I left behind. There's a lot more scratches down here, along with a bunch of random body mount holes that I will weld up and paint over. There's also a few dents on the hood that was able to pop out. It's not perfect, but it definitely looks a little bit better. Now, let's move on to the interior, because this needs a lot of work. First thing, these door panels have seen a lot better days. These things are in very rough shape. Luckily, I found a paint that will match the dash and everything. The dash is in good shape, but these door panels need a lot more love. It's missing the close handles and like a lot of the bolts to go with it. Not to mention it's not even screwed on. Needs some love. Another big issue, which is also a common issue, is the seat wobble. The seat wobbles so much, especially when you're sitting in it. And that is because there's supposed to be these plastic washers in here that prevent it from wobbling. They are disintegrated and gone. Common problem in these TJs. Luckily, they sell a kit for it that replaces all the plastic washers, and you can replace all that very easily. This door panel is also in rough shape. It has a crack in it too that I'm going to address. Hopefully I can fix that, make it look a little bit better. Another big thing is this thing does not have carpet, and we want carpet in it. Carpet helps with the road noise, keeping it down a lot in here. The soft top is already kind of loud enough. We don't want more noise coming from underneath. So along with carpet, I'm also going to bed line the whole thing. I already bed lined all the bumpers and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and bed line the whole floor pans. It's gonna protect it for a long time to come. No rust is getting in there. Helps with the road noise, and I think it looks a little bit better. I'm really gonna go overboard here. After I rhino line it, I'm gonna put some sound deadening on it, and then carpet on top of that. This is gonna be probably the quietest TJ that you will ever see. So to make it easier on ourselves, we're gonna go ahead and take out this whole interior, leave the dash in, but take out the seats, the center console, all this other stuff, and get it knocked out looking really good. Door panels too, gotta take those off. Let's do it. check out this interior. It looks so much better, way better. Looks really good. It smells new in here too. It's nice. If you remember what these door panels look like, they were in really rough shape, and these look practically brand new, about as brand new as you can get for how old this thing is. And these doors are definitely not stock to this Jeep. This door used to be black. I noticed that when I took the door panels off. So this is from a different year. I'm guessing a little bit older than 2006. This door panel had a crack in it. I was able to clean it up a little bit. It's still there, and it's kind of hard to replicate this plastic pattern. So I did the best I could, and definitely looks better. It's not going to grow anymore because of that plastic weld I did to it, but you can obviously still see it a little bit. Not going to be perfect. Let's talk about the transformation of this door panel itself, because it looks fantastic. It matches pretty well too. It might be a shade or two lighter. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up or not. A little bit lighter, but I don't think the average person is going to be able to tell. I painted it with that vinyl spray, matched pretty well, and then I put the flat clear coat on top of it just for an extra layer of protection. That way I can scratch it up and it just wipes off. Look at that. If I was going to redo it, I would recommend a satin clear. I think that will match the interior a little bit more. This interior is a little bit more shiny than this flat, but I think it's a huge improvement of what was on it before. I fixed the seat so it doesn't wobble anymore. This is a big common problem with these TJs. These plastic pieces that make the whole seat fold forward, they break off and just disintegrate. So I got some new ones right on Amazon. Fixed that up, pretty easy fix. Took out all the interior, sprayed it with bed liner just to prevent it from ever rusting. It's not ever gonna rust in here. Put sound deadening all over the floor, so this thing is gonna be pretty quiet, and then topped it off with some carpet. This carpet is waterproof, so you can take it out and wash it off and it'll be fine. Along with that, I went ahead and replaced the center dash. It was already broken and it was missing a radio. So got a new touchscreen radio with Apple CarPlay and a backup camera installed. You can see in here now that they're pretty close together, how well the door panel matches the rest of it. I think my parents are gonna be very happy with how this looks and the transformation of it. I think they're gonna be impressed. Exterior looks pretty, interior looks really pretty. Now the only thing they'll need to do is get it running right. Probably should have started with that, but I was waiting around to see if I could figure out what the issue was. Figure that out, and then in the meantime, I was gonna clean it up and make it look good, because we're gonna get this thing running right. I'm pretty confident about that. I don't think it's gonna be a major issue at all. You all gave me a lot of ideas of what this problem could be. A lot of people were saying I didn't order OEM sensors, which could be an issue. I've heard that before, that buying aftermarket just doesn't help, especially with these Chrysler models. That's probably the first thing we're gonna check. I'm gonna take them out of my Jeep that I know is working right, put them into this. If that doesn't fix the issue, then we know it's not the sensors. Another issue, a lot of people were saying wiring. Check your wiring, make sure there's no split ends or any kind of burn marks around the exhaust. This exhaust has been replaced, so I could see that being an issue. I need to go over that, look down there, check all the wires, make sure there's nothing messed up in that. One other thing I think it could be is the oil pump drive assembly. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, the OPDA. I've read that as an issue with these on these 05 and 06 TJs. They go bad and they start like getting loose. That causes skips and issues when you get to a higher RPM, and that's what our issue is. So I went ahead and ordered one of those if it's not the sensors or the wiring harness. If none of those options fix it, then I'm kind of stuck, because then I don't know what it could be. So let's start with the sensors, work up from there. I also want to give this thing a nice wash on the outside. The inside looks really good, needs a wash on the outside. Clean it up, and should be done with it for now. Fingers crossed we can fix it. Well, we have some good news and some not so good news. First good news, it runs. It goes past 30 miles an hour, which we haven't been able to do that yet. The bad news is it's still throwing a camshaft code. It's still the same code number, but it says something different. First it was saying something about the timing was off, something like that. And then now it's just saying the bank sensor camshaft is off. So not really sure what that is, but let's talk about what we replaced to get it to work right. This is the old OPDA, oil pump something system. I don't know if it's easy to tell on camera, but it is obviously have some wear in it. And it's also missing like the washer, the lock washer that's supposed to be in there. It's just completely gone. You can see some metal flaking off on it. So this was definitely an issue, even if that's not the main problem of it. It was definitely an issue that needed replaced. And there's a lot of play in it. I don't know if that's normal. It didn't act like that on the new one I put. So I'm gonna say it's not normal. So it's running now, but it's still throwing the code. So now I'm leaning more towards that the sensor is bad. Since we don't have a OEM sensor in it, and everyone says that the OEM is the best sensor to have, the aftermarkets are pretty much junk. I'm gonna say that's the issue. I was gonna test that theory out by swapping them with my Jeep, but the sensors are different. They're in different locations. They're different sensors, so I can't do that. And then I'm gonna order an OEM sensor if I can find it, because I looked online and they are discontinued from the Mopar website, so I gotta find either a used one or someone who has a new one. I don't know where to find it. But if you can find one, please email me or message me on my Instagram right here. After washing it, it definitely looks better. It still has a lot of scrapes and scratches and nicks out of the paint. This paint on the door is pretty rough shape. So eventually I'm gonna repaint this, probably change the color. Not sure what color yet. We'll decide. I'll let my parents decide since it's their Jeep anyway. But until I paint it, it is now done and they can drive it around and have fun with it. And I think it looks a lot better and definitely suits them a lot more now. Interior is in great shape. Outside looks really good. No rust anymore. That is it on this episode and this quick rebuild of this 2006 Jeep Wrangler. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't follow my Instagram already, it is right here. You can check that out. If you don't follow me on here, you can follow me here too. I will catch you guys in the next episode, either on my Jeep or on a new project I have. Stay tuned.